Dude, I'm fucking legitimately thinking about doing the whole van life thing and moving into a van. I know that we were talking about that the other day.
You fit the bill.
I know. I look like it, don't
Like you look like you shit in a bucket and throw it out the window.
100% do. Yeah.
I'm surprised you've used plumbing. Like
I
you
look
do
like a
look
dirty
like
hippie.
you look like a guy who shits in a bucket and then just goes, "Oh, sorry, mate," and just throws it out the window. That's
It's
what you look
compostable.
like. Yeah. You do. If you become one of those guys,
Yeah.
I don't know if I can have you in my house anymore. Are you going to be showering regularly?
Yeah.
Where are you going to shower? Not in like fucking leisure centers and shit.
Well, either that or some of them have showers.
You can do the built-in showers.
You can do the
I've
built-in
seen
showers,
that, yeah.
but that can really rack up the price. So I don't know because I don't have fucking loads of money or anything. So I need to figure out a way. I can't do this.
You can shower
immediately.
here once a week.
Well,
there's parking outside.
That's true. There's parking outside once a week.
You can shower here once a week. Yeah,
but,
you do the pod.
But yeah, exactly. Do the pod for a shower. But again,
try and leave the pod now, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. But again, that's the kind of thing where I'm like, I want as much of my time and energy to be into comedy stuff as possible, whether it's the pod or whether it's gigs. Like that's what I want. And to be honest, man, the van life thing is a separate thing. It's more just like the rent thing has just become so. I feel like there's no incentive to play the game anymore.
No,
I feel like
you also do. You do fit the van life, like just your philosophy and shit.
Yeah.
On life, and so do I, man. But I just I don't know. It's just life hasn't panned out that way. But we both have had these conversations where it's like, just give me a bed and a fucking purpose, and I'll be okay.
Yeah, if I can get by, like I can really get by on fuck all.
Yeah, a bed, a Wi-Fi, a bed, Wi-Fi, matching socks.
Yeah.
Even numbered food.
Yeah, exactly.
We're good.
And then I'm good, and then I can just do comedy. But yeah, I think I don't know. I was saying this to you the other day, but I think the incentive isn't there anymore. I think the incentive used to be that okay, you work a 9 to 5 in this office, and you go to this company for X many years, and you be a good boy, and if you do that, then you'll get a house, and you can put a roof over your kids' heads, and blah 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 blah. But now it's like, none of us are going to be able to afford to buy a house unless, we have some unless you're either super wealthy working in like tech or banking, which is a small percentage of the population, which neither of us are. Or if we're lucky enough that we make it in comedy to a point where through fucking ticket sales and stuff like a Patreon or whatever, we manage to get enough money to buy a house that way. But most people, and especially right now, including us, are not going to be able to afford a fucking house. And so now I think a lot of people, because it's easy to laugh at the van thing, because I laughed at it when I first heard it. I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, what, you're living in fucking a car? This is insane.
Yeah.
But then, like, the more I looked at it, I was like, well, if it's a choice between that, like, my mate is paying, him and his mate that they live together, they pay £2,600 a month.
Yeah, it's insane.
And that's not to live in, like, Mayfair or St. John's Wood or Notting Hill. Like, it's not like, to live in a sexy area. Like, to live somewhere like further east or further north, like not super central, and they're paying 2.6K a month for a 2-bed flat. It's like, it's so ludicrous now that it's like, the incentive isn't there anymore. It's not like, but you can now you can't get anything, but you're still having to do the same thing and work the same stuff.
And you can't save up anyway because you're paying your fucking arsehole in rent.
Yeah. And then also on top of that, wages haven't increased with everything else. So now it's like you're just not earning much more money, but everything else is also much more expensive. And so it's just, the incentive is gone. So I'm like, well, I can here are the 3 options the way that I see it. I can either pay, 4 options. Option 1 is I can stay at home, which I don't want to do because I'm be 30 in a month. I don't want to be living at home in my 30s.
Yeah.
So option 1, stay at home, which is not an option. Option 2, I can find a friend to live with and move into a 2-bed flat, like a lot of my friends do, and pay probably like between 1.1 to 1.3K a month, which means I'll need to get a full-time job because there's no way I could even afford that. Yeah. Like, not even close. Option 3 is I can find somewhere cheaper where I'm paying £700-800 a month, but then I'm going to have to live with like 4 or 5 people to be able to manage that.
Strangers, potentially.
Potentially strangers, and that's going to be a whole like deal within itself. Or option 4 is I can find a way to get like, I don't know, probably 5-ish grand on the really low end, probably maybe closer to 10 grand on the high end, but it doesn't have to be all at once. I can take a loan, whatever, to basically get a place where I have my own space. I have my own bed. I have my own, hopefully, like little bathroom area, whatever. I have my own little kitchen, and it's tight. But like, all I need, like I said, is a bed, a place to sit down, use my laptop, and get me from place to place. I love driving anyway. And I can do all of that for maybe like 300 quid a month, 400 max. And also I'm not like tethered to anything. I can go places, I can park somewhere else. Gigs is amazing. If I do a gig and it's late, I can just fucking park up somewhere in the area. I don't have to worry about getting home or driving home.
Gig all over the country.
Gig all over the country. It's good for gigging out of London. So, but also for me, it's the idea of like, I can actually, when I think about what my priorities are, and I think everyone has different priorities, and I have friends who this wouldn't work for, but I think for me, my priorities aren't nice restaurants or like nights out or like fancy clothing or whatever. My priorities are, how can I have as little ownership over me as possible and spend as much time doing things that make me happy and fulfilled as possible. And so for me, it's like, okay, I want to do comedy, I want to do the podcast, and that's what I want to do. Okay, everything else is just super irrelevant. So what do I need for that? I need to fucking have a room in terms of like a bed, and I need to have a toilet, and I need to have a chair or a mini sofa area. So I need a mini couch, a bed, and a toilet, and a little stovey area. That's it.
Yeah.
And to some people, that's a fucking nightmare. I'd rather pay $1,400
No, but it's like you said,
and fair play. But for me, I don't need anything more than that.
Yeah. Option 5, do it.
Do it.
Fucking easiest one of them all. No, bro.
Option 5, just fucking sack up and do it. Buy a rope and do it.
If my mum watches this, she is gonna fucking.
She's gonna call some arrows.
She's gonna section me.
Yeah, exactly. And you'll be like, I used to have a podcast. They're like, I bet you did, son. Take these pills.
I used to do comedy with a Messiah.
Sure you did. Yeah. Was he Messiah? Was he? Take the blue one first. Was he a Messiah?
Free accommodation. Option 6.
Yeah, exactly.
Who says we didn't have a lot of options? No, I completely agree with you. And I said this to you the other day. Like, I've worked in like some fairly corporate jobs and stuff. And the higher up people in the company, like, you know, when you're young and you're impressionable, you go to these places and they're like, look at, you know, Jeffrey, he's really doing well. He's running his subsection of the company, and he just bought a house. You know, he just put a mortgage on a house, and he's only 33, and he's worked pretty hard. And it's like he just bought a Ferrari. He just bought a secondhand Ferrari. And it's like, yeah, that's sick. But he's worked 12 hours every day, Saturdays included, for 10 years, and he just scraped the house together. Which, again, no judgment. Like, I'm not even close to that. I couldn't even dream of doing that, but I said it to you the other day. I'd rather be all or nothing. Like, I'd either want to make good money from something that I'm really passionate about, or I'll go and work on a farm in fucking Vietnam. Like, genuinely, I would rather live somewhere that's like beautiful and the quality of life is really high.
Like Thailand or something.
Yeah, and essentially be poor, because in terms of like, you know, global scale, the money I'll be making is nothing. But I'd rather live in like a really nice, small, comfortable apartment right next to a beach, do like manual labor so I'm not like super overstimulated, and I can just listen to my fucking podcast to drown out the voices, and I can fucking smoke a bit of weed now and then, I can hit the beach, and I can go to the gym, and I can like drive a moped around in the sun. I would much rather that than be Jeffrey and work 12 hours a day for 10 years to buy a flat in fucking central London. That has no appeal to me.
Yeah.
I either want it all and I want to be successful in something I really care about, or I want to fucking, you know, just put me on a farm.
Yeah.
And I'll fucking lift hay.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like, again, it's important to clarify, there is no right or wrong answer.
No.
People that
This
are
is
on
just
that
me.
path, that works.
I wish I could do that, because again, the things that we're talking about are like probably the path of. But
They're the path of existential dread,
and that is the path of least resistance almost.
Yeah.
Because it's like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's not hard. It's very hard to do that, because you have to have a lot of determination and discipline, and you have to work
a lot of
hard.
resilience just to grind
Resilience,
out every
yeah,
day.
because it's a fucking grind. But that is like the standard path, I guess.
But I do think, I will say, I think
I should do it.
Yeah. We have to call this podcast.
No, that's my solo pod, and it's going to have one episode. But this episode is called Do It.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go on, carry on.
But I do think a lot more people would be happier if they just let go. And I think, not to make it all fucking 1999, you know, Fight Club aesthetic vibe, of like, you know, hey, we're all just consumers and we got to let go and fucking break out of the rat
You are
race.
such that guy.
Do you know what I mean?
You
No,
are such that
well,
guy.
I am in terms of my philosophy, but I don't want to be that guy in terms of like, because fuck that guy, you know? I don't want to be the guy. And it's worse because I've got long hair.
No.
You know?
No, fuck that guy, but
Yeah.
you're that guy.
That's fuck me, right?
No, but your look is that guy.
It so is.
Yeah.
But also it's like, fuck it, you can't fight who you are. But I just don't know. I just think, yeah. I just think that, I just think that you should figure out what's important to you, and whatever that is, orient everything towards that.
Yeah.
And I'm not. And by the way, I want to clarify. I'm not saying this in some vague motivational fucking speech way of like, hey, you just got to find what makes you happy and follow your dreams, man. I'm just saying, not even like finding a passion or figuring out what you want to do with your life. I'm just saying figure out like values wise, I guess, what matters, and then orient based on that, because I think so much fucking stress comes from
the unknown, the discovery,
well, yeah, but also I was going to say the opposite. I was going to say so much stress comes from having all this bullshit to maintain, like clinging on to like rent and bills and keeping up appearances and paying this and holding down a job for that, looking for a promotion for that, and this boss with that. And don't get me wrong, there's all this bullshit on the other side too. But
like being broke,
broke and wanting to rope, you know.
Yeah.
But and wanting to do it. But there's also just an element of it's freer and it feels a bit less heavy.
Well, I
for me and my personality, not putting that on anyone else.
Yeah, no, 100%. And by the way, I don't even think we need to like mention this, because I don't think anyone's looking at me and you and going,
let's get advice off.
That's who we should be listening to. Yeah, those guys in front of the green screen, they're fucking clearly fucking idiots.
Yeah.